Sharon Drover had just returned to her bedsitter in downtown St. John's. She was visiting her birth mother and father on Bell Island for Christmas. She told her little sister she would call as soon as she got home. But first, she'd need to collect her paycheck at McDonald's.
Unfortunately, that paycheck was never cashed.
So few people knew her. So few people could provide any information in any regard about her habits and her lifestyle.
We have now learned from two witnesses who came forward that in fact they picked her up after leaving work on the morning of the 29th of December 1978.
How can it be possible to be this long and still not know anything?
A possible murder without a body. A suspect without enough evidence. This is the story of Sharon Drover. Sharon Drover was born on Bell Island on March 15, 1961, one of many children in a poor family. As a young girl, she and her baby sister were bounced from foster home to foster home. At 17, she moved out, but called her sister every day. Things were looking up.
She had a new job, and I was so proud of my big sister. Got her own job and had her own money, and she was showing me this new stuff, new purse she had and boots and stuff.
Outside her bedsitter on Livingstone Street, it was cold and overcast, a trace of fresh Christmas snow on the ground. 17-year-old Sharon Drover had a shift at McDonald's, and it was payday. She pulled on a beige coat over her blue jeans, hauled on knee-high black boots, and walked to Kenmount Road. Sharon worked a 5 to 2 a.m. shift and grabbed her paycheck. She'd never get the chance to use it. 46 days would pass before anyone would report her missing.
She said, I won't be up at Christmas time, but I'll be up for New Year's dinner. So New Year's dinner, after so long waiting, we didn't hear from her. And so then we started to inquire, and this is why it took so long to finally realize she was missing.
Was she a runaway? Police called Air Canada, Eastern Provincial Airways, and CN. Nothing. Then they received 2 anonymous tips that the teen had been murdered.
It was alleged, or something resembling a body was allegedly being seen to be taken from a tractor-trailer truck near McDonald's and on Topsail Road. It was believed that it was buried somewhere in the area. The area was thoroughly searched. Another anonymous complaint caller advised us that her body was buried in the wooded area off Foxtrot Access Road. That complete area was thoroughly searched with negative results.
I wish I would have had more years to look up to her.
12-year-old Teresa Drover had lost the one person in her family who was always there.
It was bad because we're in school, and I mean, everyone was talking about it too. Like, they'd even have their own theories. Kids can be cruel. I mean, how many theories did kids, oh, I heard they found your sister here, I heard they found your sister there. It was very cruel at times growing up with it, yeah. And plus the fact that I didn't have her, and at the time it was so new, we were always hoping she'd be found. That maybe she's going to come back next week, or she's going to call me anytime, but no, nothing. I was always hoping. Still always hoping.
And for more than a decade, that's where the story ended. Then, in the 1990s, new information in a cold case.
We did have a gentleman come forward with his brother who provided a statement to the RNC stating that they picked up a young girl on Kenmount Road who was hitchhiking.
With that information, police had new suspicions about number 9 Livingstone Street. Police dug up the floor in Sharon Drover's former home where she lived with her boyfriend. There were several other rooms in the home too, other people. Police thought they'd find her remains beneath the concrete. They were wrong, but they did have a suspect.
In terms of the person who was a suspect at that point in time, I would state that the person is still a suspect. This investigation is active, as are several other cold case investigations that we have. Since 1995, a criminal charge has not been laid, so nobody has been arrested for the murder or disappearance of Sharon Drover.
A box of evidence opened and closed by many in the nearly 40 years since she vanished. Inspector Tom Warren was the last person to have a crack at it. But a missing persons case from 1978 has its challenges. Back then, no cell phones, no security cameras, no DNA evidence.
The second hindrance, of course, is age. Several years has passed since that point in time. I can't say this for certain, but it's quite possible that if there are witnesses that witnessed something that happened to Sharon Drover, those persons, based on the passage of time, may have passed away. So that, of course, is a huge obstacle for us.
In 2010, the RNC received 2 calls, one from police in Texas, the other from California.
They had some reason to believe that unidentified remains they had in their possession may have been Sharon Drover.
DNA profiles from family members, dental records, and Sharon's photos were sent to the States.
It was very upsetting for a long time, not knowing, always wondering when you're going to get a call, this is her, and then finally to say, it's not her, and thinking all this, again, we had to go through all this again. How many times we got to go through this?
Sharon Drover would be 57 today. Her sister still remembers the gift she bought her that Christmas.
She liked Sweet Honesty powder, body powder, and Sweet Honesty perfume. And the automatic tweezers. Yeah.
And you held on to it because you had hoped to
for
give
many
it to her.
years. I was hoping, well, maybe this year I'll give it to her. Maybe this year I'll give it to her. Yeah.
The year never came.
I always hoped for many, many years that she was going to be found alive. But I know now that's impossible. But still hoping that we're going to find remains and put closure to it.